Hi everyone, my name is Joette Calabrese. For those who don't know me and for those who do, welcome back. It's our Monday night time together, which I absolutely love. And I've had it. I've had it with the masks. Don't wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Get tested, no, that testing's inaccurate. Hospitals are overrun, hospitals are vacant and going out of business. Oh, yawn. Too long, too much. And feeling too manipulated. Don't you think that we've been manipulated? Let's get back to educating ourselves, folks. Carry on with our study of materia medica. Here's my materia medica. If you have it, you can work right along with me. If you don't have it, it's okay. You don't need it, but here it is. If you're interested, you can just go to my website and purchase it or call my office. Or you can use someone else's materia medica. I have over 30 materia medicas, different kinds, different authors. I pointed them out before. There's one here. There's another one. Let's see. I've got to do this backwards here, and another one here. This is a repertory here. But I've got, I have a lot of them. Many different authors, different centuries, different decades, different points of view, different countries. So as these homeopathic doctors and hospitals and clinics, etc., started to put their materia medicas together, it represented in many ways their personality. I hope that my personality comes across in mine. Mine is not very extensive because I don't want to overwhelm you, but I also want you to know that it's a good idea for you to be looking at other materia medicas as well as you learn this medicine of ours. So tonight, it's still warm in here. Excuse me for having to fan myself. I put the fan on, I turned the air on, but I've got this light here. I don't know if you can see it reflected in my glasses, but we have this light here and another one, and it makes it very warm in here when I do this on Monday nights. Alrighty, so we are moving on out of COVID, at least for a while. My guess is that that Bill Gates is going to bring it back. He's going to start talking about it again because, of course, he predicted, he's a scientist, you know. He predicted this years ago, 5 years ago. He predicted it again 3 years ago, always with that smirk on his face about how he wants the entire world needs to be vaccinated. And it's amazing because he's not a medical doctor, he's not a scientist, he's not a public health official, he's not been given any public office that we have voted him in. And so it's probably, we're going to hear about it again just around the time that we have presidential election cycle starting up again. How convenient, isn't it? So anyway, tonight we're going to talk about, we're getting back to business. We're getting to a medicine that's I'm going to read it to you. You see, I have my notes written here as well, but I'm going to read this to you and then also expound on it a little bit. The medicine is Hamamelis virginiana. Hamamelis is good enough, Hamamelis. It's good enough. And the reason I say it's good enough is because some homeopathic medicines have this one first word, a first name, and then a different second name. So there are 2 or 3, arsenicum album, arsenicum iodatum, etc., etc. But Hamamelis, there's only one Hamamelis that I'm aware of that is available to be purchased homeopathically. And you can purchase this, of course, at your local pharmacy if they carry homeopathic medicines. But you can buy it on Amazon, but even better yet, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a student of mine, buy from OHM Pharma. I think they're one of the top notch. If you're not a student or client of mine, then by all means go to Boron, Boiron, Boron Pharmacy, Boron Homeopathy. They are out of France, but now they're very well established in the United States for several decades now. And if you go to Boron and you go to check out, you order your remedies and you go to check out, then when you check out in the little box, you put my name, Joette, and you will get a discount. As I always say, I have no affiliation program with them. I don't get any kickbacks. It's just a way for you to get a discount. So what we want to do is look at Hamamelis virginiana. Now, Believe it or not, this medicine is made from witch hazel. Now, growing up, there was a cartoon with a witch named Witch Hazel. I don't remember which one it was. So it never occurred to me that that was an herb, but it is indeed an herb. It's a cooling herb. And it is found in a very common product. Tell me, let me know what you think, because I'll bet you know this product, that is used for hemorrhoids. So in its gross form as witch hazel, this is as an herb. It is a wonderful medicine for hemorrhoids. And so there's a hemorrhoid medicine out there that has witch hazel in it, and it's been around a very long time. But when we get something that is an herb or a substance that has some value in its gross form, and we dilute it, not you or I, but the homeopathic pharmacy, certainly you are able to do so. You can certainly make homeopathic medicines, a lot of time and work, but it's definitely worth it. And one of these days I'll teach you how to do it briefly on this forum. It's in my guide. Let's see, what guide is that? I teach you how to make homeopathic medicines from substances in my book titled Survivalist's Guide to Homeopathy. So, but for now, let me explain that when you get a substance such as witch hazel, and the Latin word is Hamamelis virginiana, and you dilute it many times and succuss it between each dilution, you will make a homeopathic medicine when you get to the 6x, for example, or the 30x, or even more potent at a 200 potency, 200x or C. You can buy X's or C's. And then it becomes a medicine of even more value. So as an herb, herbs are great. Homeopathics made from herbs trump them. Homeopathy trumps herbs, even though I think herbs are great and I still use them. There are times when herbs are a little more valuable or are good to work alongside with homeopathy. But in this particular case, if someone has hemorrhoids, you can certainly get a dab of witch hazel, put it on a little cotton ball, and put it directly on the area. Meanwhile, you're going to use this medicine, Hamamelis virginiana, 200C. Now, I've used this medicine for clients and taught the use of this medicine for 33 years, for as long as I've been teaching homeopathy. But it wasn't until I went to the Prasanta Banerjee Homeopathic Research Foundation where I found that they were using Hamamelis virginiana 200 mixed with, means taken at the same moment. If you can buy it mixed with, OHM makes it that way. Otherwise, you probably won't be able to buy it this way. But if you buy it in and of itself, 200, Hamamelis 200, and mix it within the mouth at the same time with arnica 3, it becomes a medicine of great measure. And for what? It is a medicine that is very specific for vascular conditions. So, of course, hemorrhoids, because hemorrhoids are vascular, but also Raynaud's. The issue with having hands and feet that are too cold in the winter, they turn white or blue, or they can't be warmed up. It's an excellent medicine for Raynaud's syndrome. It's an excellent medicine for hemorrhoids. So I'm going to keep repeating so that you've got this. I love it. Krishna Carey says, trapped in Illinois. Boy, I know. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. Illinois is a tough state. So is New York, was a tough state. Hi from Canada. Rami from Texas. Let's see where everyone else is from. I don't mind, if you don't mind me jumping around and looking in here between teaching, because I like to be able to, wouldn't wear a mask at all if it wasn't for work. Yeah, I don't blame you, Francine. I went to church yesterday and I went to the hardware store before I went to church, and they did not require a mask. The employees were wearing masks, but they didn't require that I wear one. There was no sign on the door, and I asked, and they said, no, you don't have to. And then I went to church, and it was required. And I was very, very disappointed. I certainly wanted to go to church, and the pews were all open and separated, and we were many, many feet away from each other. But I understand because I believe the church is very much under siege, and so they're probably protecting themselves, and I kind of can't blame them. But it was very frustrating. All right. Oh, hi, Darylyn. Nice to see you. You bet. Out of COVID. Hooray. Back to MM. Yes. Materia medica. You got it. So does anyone know the product? Now, I haven't gone down too far in what you've said here. Deep vein thrombosis. Thank you, Linda. I was just going to say that. Hamamelis arnica, that combination for deep vein thrombosis, saved my life on a Hawaiian trip. Linda, I'm so happy that you mentioned that. Preparation H. Yes, Pat. Yes, you bet. Preparation H has Hamamelis in it as a tincture, still in its gross form. So you bet. Vascular conditions. You think of the vascular condition, and pretty much I will tell you it's going to be Hamamelis 200 mixed with Arnica 3. And it's usually used twice daily. Let's see. And I just want to go through some of these questions. Survivalist, yep, in my survivalist course, yes. Someone is asking, Joette, I keep hearing you can get COVID again without getting immunity after you've had it. Please share your thoughts. I hate to say it, but who cares? We're supposed to get immunity to this illness, to all illnesses that are like this, for COVID. COVID, when you think about it, corona is a type of cold. We do care when it's someone who is very compromised, has a compromised immune system, quite compromised, on several medications, and is elderly. The numbers are very low. The death rate from COVID-19, the last I looked, I don't have the numbers in front of me. In fact, I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow. I'm being interviewed by a German homeopathic organization, and I'll have the numbers in front of me tomorrow, are about equal to the flu every year. And you know, I work with many people. I oversee 50 cases per day, and I meet right when we finish this tonight. I will be meeting with a group, with a study group, and I usually meet with 2 a week. That averages about anywhere between 30 and 60 people per week. And I ask people all the time, are you sick? Anyone in your family with COVID? And I'm hearing, oh, no. The last time I heard of anyone having COVID was months ago, around the time my husband and I and my children got it. We believe we got it. We don't know for sure. And many people are telling me the same thing time and again. And that is that, yeah, we were sick back in December. You know, in January, we had this strange illness, and it was different than the usual flu or colds that we get. I think this was long gone many months ago. So can Arnica 3 be found anywhere besides OHM pharmacy? You're right. That OHM is usually the one that you can only find where you can find these these low potencies of a 3C or 3X. But if you're a student of mine in one of my study groups or in taking one of my courses and you finish it, then you automatically become, you get a discount by working with OHM pharmacy. So that would help you out. You could also try Helios, which is a pharmacy in England. And although I am very pro-American pharmacies because we need their support in the US, once in a while we do have to go to Helios, and they're also a very good company as well. Trapped in Buffalo, New York. I know my children are all there. I know. Hi from Maine. Hi, Joette from Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, Ocean Ridge. Donna from Ocean Ridge, your old neighbor. Yes. Oh, how fabulous. Alrighty, that's just right here. Alrighty, so what I want you to think about this medicine is, let's say you can't get Arnica 3C, Hamamelis 200, and it's going to be spelled I know someone asked for the spelling. My team will be up there soon and telling you more about it and how to spell it. Hamamelis 200C, don't use a 30. Could you? Yes. Can you use a 6? Certainly. Can you use a 1M? Of course. But use the 200. The 200, I've had years of experience with Hamamelis 200. It works. It has never failed me. Now, sometimes it works like that. Other times it takes, weeks, maybe months. Slowly, it gets better. As long as the improvement is accruing, even though it might be a greater improvement in the beginning as you start, and then as you go through the weeks and months of taking the medicine, if there's still a little bit of improvement, don't abandon that medicine. Allow that medicine to work fully. Give it a chance to do what it's intended to do. If you can get Arnica 3 separate or together with Hamamelis, then by all means I would go that route as well. Okay. Let's see, excuse me for taking a drink while I read this. Is it okay to take Arnica 30 instead of Arnica 3? This is what I always say, Regina. You can use any potency you like, but if you hope to get the kind of results that I have grown to appreciate, and my students have noted time and time again, that I would stick to the protocol. It is a strict Banerjee protocol. Hamamelis 200 with Arnica 3. If you have no other choice, then certainly use what you've got until you can get what you need. Did you hear me say that? Use what you've got until you can get what you need. So use it for a while and then move on. Order it, get a hold of it, see if you can figure out how to get it. And as I said, Helios OHM. I have used this amazing remedy for menstrual bleeding that won't stop due to menopause. Yes, Dawn, you're absolutely right. It is a very good medicine for that. I don't even have to teach. You're doing all the teaching. It's wonderful. Is it for peripheral neuropathy? No, it is not for peripheral neuropathy. At some point, we'll talk about that. But although sometimes, if there is a sense, if it has peripheral neuropathy, sometimes can be affected by vascular issues. And if that's so, then this might be worth a try. Venous stasis, you bet. Absolutely. Venous stasis is another use for this beautiful combination. Varicose veins, you bet. And a lot of times, especially women, but men have it too, varicose veins that are painful. And that's when Arnica comes in. You see how Arnica is not only for the vascular aspect of it, but also for the pain. It's a great combination. Lymphedema, sometimes we can use it. Yes, varicose veins. Okay. Postpartum healing. Well, what I like for postpartum healing is Arnica on its own. But if there are varicose veins and it feels very vascular, by all means you should use this as a combination for that as well. Helios, A2Z, and Washington has some 3Cs. There you go, Washington. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you very much. Washington is in West Virginia, Washington Homeopathic Pharmacy. I think I've got the name right. All right, psoriasis. No, I wouldn't think of this for psoriasis. Let's see what else we've got. Menopause. Too broad. Too broad a category. What we're looking for are things that are a little bit more definitive. Donna and DC have to wear a mask to buy loaf of bread, exclamation point. Special police at the grocery store laughed when I told them I couldn't breathe and mumbled something about jail. This remedy for lipomas, I have this in my notes. Could it be useful if the lipoma is related to vascular issues? Then yes, it certainly. So what we're looking for is vascular issues, okay? Legs that swell after being on them at work all day, possibly, but if we're talking about strictly edema, that's not where I would go with this. I would go with something much different than that for edema. All right, this happened to me too. Is this edema for the feet? Oh, it's possible. Here's the thing: if it's worth a try, because edema sometimes can be as a result of a vascular issue. So give it a try, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then stop. And I would give it a few days to see, is there a little change? Maybe if that go a little further, maybe a couple more days, maybe a week or so, and see if that acts, then stick with it. Yes. Okay. Worked for headache post-surgery. Interesting. Sarah Hale said, Hamamelis with Arnica worked for my headache post-surgery. I remember, Sarah, you told me about that. Sarah works with me. Yeah, and it's probably because of the surgical issue of you know, something vascular was worked on, excuse me, and arnica is excellent for after surgery. You bet. Arnica is great for headaches too. Good, thank you, Lisa. Boron in Canada has all of these available. I know sometimes boron doesn't carry everything in Canada. Okay, so is it, let's just see where else we've got. I grew up in Buffalo in the 70s and 80s, Teresa says. What is the lipoma? Okay, we're not going to get into what the remedy is for each one of these because we could do that all night. I want to make sure that I cover this properly. All right, so I'm going to read it. This remedy is used for veins and venous conditions, congestion, venous congestion, hemorrhages. Did you hear that? Hemorrhages, varicose veins, and hemorrhoids with bruised soreness of the affected parts. If there is bruised soreness of the affected parts, it's an excellent medicine, but it doesn't need to have that. But that is a good example of when we would use this for varicose veins that can be painful. Let's see, inflammation has to be potent. Let's see, potential of bleeding and inflammation, and has the potential to constrict blood vessels that especially after circulation, a release to the extremities as well. It is a Let's see what else we've got. Witch hazel is a cooling herb. I said this already. After giving birth, with hemorrhoids are present after often eliminating the problem within a few days. All right, let's see what else we've got here. What if you don't have a diagnosis but have poor circulation? You bet. That's a diagnosis. I would call that, to a certain degree, it's a diagnosis. I would not use it as a preventative. Because it's a 200 potency and it's usually used twice daily. I would use this as a medicine for a specific condition. All right, Ajax, Ontario. Does it help leg swelling? Someone asked that already. If it's vascular, yes, indeed it will, and especially if there are aches and pains with it. Yes, varicose veins. Well, we'll take away my excuse for not cleaning the freezer. Says Kim. Renaud's. Yes, you bet. All right. And Marley is spelling the word out again. Blood clot in the eye that causes blindness. I got Hamamelis 200 and Arnica Protocol. I hope it helps. It often can help blood clots such as that. Yes, that's in the eye. It is definitely worth the try. Twice daily. You use it until we use these are all chronic conditions pretty much that we're talking about, right? Raynaud's, varicosities, venous congestion. Sometimes hemorrhoids are more acute, but we use them for approximately 6 to 8 weeks and then assess. And if we see that there's improvement, then we know we're going to stay on. If it's completely done, then stop. If it comes back again, let's say 2-3 months later, you resume. And again, as I always tell you folks, when something comes back after having stopped using the medicine, don't think, oh no, it's back again. Think, oh yay, I get to use these medicines because they help uproot it even deeper. We're going to go even further. It's so the opposite of conventional drugs that simply put a vinyl bandage over something, generally speaking. But this goes deeper. It not only takes care of what's presenting, the pain, the tingling. There's another tingling of the fingertips, tingling of the hands from vascular issues. It not only takes care of what is kind of at the top, the frosting on the cake, but it also takes care of the whole cake, the cause. It helps uproot the cause. Will it work in every situation? Of course not. Will it completely cure every person? Of course not. But if we can get it down from a screaming, on a scale of 1 to 10, a screaming 9, 8, 7, and bring it down to a purring 1 or 2, we're happy. And if we can get whatever that condition is down to a 1 or a 2 and move on with our lives and then stop the medicine and then bring it back into our lives, into our schedules again, if it starts up again, we've got a really good opportunity to complete not only what that remedy will do for that particular condition, but a lot of times it will touch all the satellite conditions around it that we hadn't even considered connected. Pretty amazing. Cases and hospitalizations are on the rise. At least that's what they say, says Dawn. Well, I don't know. I'm hearing that that hospitalizations are on the decline. Cases, yeah, but I'm going to go back to that again. A lot of times I listen to the radio when I'm out in my car, and in Florida they're saying, oh, there are X number of cases in Florida. So what? Do we report on how many cases there are of flu every year? Of Zika, of swine flu, of coronaviruses in the past, of Ebola? We never heard any of that. This one, boy, they're really jumping on the bandwagon with this one. Vitreous detachment. It could potentially help with vitreous detachment. It could potentially do that. Leg and feet swelling, only if it's vascular. Okay, you bet. Let's see. Will it help varicose veins go away? In some people it does, in some people it doesn't. It depends. Depends on how extreme they are. For those that are the varicose veins, there are that are like a varicosity where they're in clusters behind the knee or at the ankle. And they're often darkened and painful. We see the pain going back. The pain is receding. Will it go away completely so the ankle looks normal again? I've never seen it take it that far, but I have seen it get rid of the pain and allow the person to be able to walk and not live with their leg elevated so often. Okay. Let's see. It was from the Orem project. I don't know what that's referring to. Do you take long-term for Raynaud's? It depends. All of this depends. How bad is the Raynaud's? Are we talking about a 25-year-old woman who's, when she stands at when she goes out to her car and scrapes up the ice off of her windshield, that her hands get cold and it takes a couple hours to warm up? Or are we talking about an 80-year-old woman whose hands and feet are perpetually white or blue? Now, it depends on the degree sometimes, not always, but it depends on the age of the person sometimes, not always. It depends on how many drugs the person has taken, but not always. So it all depends on how this person can handle this. Okay. Vascular stricture in the vessels, drain blood. Vascular strictures. I would say yes, vascular strictures. Broken capillaries, you bet. Temporal vein swelling, possibly. Tonic for cardiovascular disease, I would not use it as a tonic. I would consider arnica as a tonic. And what you might want to do is look up my article that I published many years ago called My Dad, put Joette Calabrese, My Dad and the Dead Cardiologists. And I talk about arnica and how I used it for my father for years. He swore by it, and when you read the article, you'll see how fabulous arnica was for my father for many, many years. Chronic nosebleeds, it's not my first choice, but it is a possibility. Yes. All righty. We are getting to half past the hour. I've got to get to my study group. Let's see if these... if there's anything else in here. Spider veins, enough to use this. Yes, spider veins are enough to use it. Now, you do know, folks, I'm just going to finish with this, that if you're taking a homeopathic medicine and things get worse, something else comes up, you start getting a headache or you feel nauseous, and you've been taking the medicine, then stop taking the homeopathic medicine. And you also know that if it will just stop all by itself. Very slowly. But let's say you're really uncomfortable and you've gone too far with it. You thought it was a vascular issue and it turned out it wasn't, and you used the medicine and you used it for too long and it caused symptoms that Hamamelis arnica was intended to correct. You can always go to my blog and look up Stop It. Joette Calabrese, Stop It. And it will teach you how to use a medicine specifically for putting a stop to an overused or incorrectly chosen homeopathic medicine. And so with that, I'm going to say goodnight. And I will see you next week, Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Share this with your friends, folks. Teach others how to use homeopathy. Use my blog. It is a therapeutic index. If you don't know what a therapeutic index is, look it up. If you understand what a therapeutic index is, then you'll understand what my blog is set out to be. It is there for your use for free to share with friends. For anyone who doesn't know enough about homeopathy or doesn't believe or agree with it, send them there for a specific condition they might have and allow them to figure it out for themselves, so that we have more people doing this and we can keep this beautiful medicine alive across the earth. And so with that, I say good night, and God bless all of you. Have a great week, everyone. Bye now.